Check out thechosenprime.com in the link in the description below for this and other great items.
Welcome everyone to another radio-free Cybertron review. This time we're going with a little bit of an older figure, but I think now that it's getting re-released in 3 different colors, it's a good time to review FansToys Quakewave FT-03. This is, I'm not sure what FT-01 or 02 is, but this is what I know of as the first FansToys figure. So it's really nice. Let's do a couple comparison shots with it real quick. Here he is with MP10 Optimus Prime, just to see how they stand, and pretty good scale with him. Here he is with X-Trans Bots Apollyon. Again, another good size comparison on them. Here he is with Bumblebee. Little Bumblebee. Little tiny Bumblebee. Here he is with the Warbitron Shock Blast, or whatever they were calling him. I'm not sure. Here he is with another FansToys recent figure, Sever, and again they look nice together too. Here he is with Wheeljack, one of the Autobot cars, just to see how they scale. Here he is with Tesla. Give you an idea how they look together. And one last comparison. Here he is with DX9's Chigger. Since he is also Masterpiece, we might as well get him in there. There's not too many Masterpiece Decepticons. Go ahead, get Quakewave in here. Get a nice look at. I did add the Decepticon sticker that was a repro label. Head has a nice sculpt to it, I guess. One you can't really get too wrong since it doesn't have an actual face. You just have to put a light in the center. And it does light up. Get a nice yellow light for Shockwave. Or Quakewave, whatever you want to call him. He also does have another light up feature, which is right down. There's a switch right down on the bottom, and you can light up his cannon. Now it's not showing up that well on the camera just due to the amount of light I have on here, but it is pretty bright. And just for articulation, his head is on a ball joint. You can look up pretty far. You can't look down too much. You can get a bunch of side to side with him, full rotation if you want. His arms are on a hinge right here. They can go out. Nice ratcheted sound. They have a swivel at the upper part, a swivel at the right above the elbow, and double jointed elbows. So arms have a lot of posability. Now this is the original Quakewave version. The new one, the re-release, is going to be a little bit darker than what you're seeing here. And then the toy version is going to be even darker than that. And then they're also going to have a all clear version, which is going to be, all these pieces are going to be clear. So that one's limited to 800, and it looks like most of the pre-orders are sold out. So if you want that one, it's going to be a little bit hard to find. but it's definitely going to be a nice display piece. He does have a waist swivel, and the nice part is, even with the backpack, he is still able to have a waist swivel. You just, this piece I believe is supposed to sit up like that. You can just rotate that down. That way it won't interfere, but it just looks a little odd with that piece sticking out. So you can do it, you know, any way you choose. And I don't have the instructions or the box for this just because it's probably in storage somewhere. So one of the things also that I wanted to mention on the new release is the hose is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit thicker, a little bit more bulky. So that should be really nice with the re-release. Go back to articulation. These hip skirts on the side can move to get out of the way. That way you can get a nice, leg can go up about that much. It can go back. It's ratcheted forward and back. And then you can get almost a 90-degree at the knee. Now if you come down to the foot is on an ankle pivot. The toes can go up and down due to transformation, and the heel can also go down due to the transformation. So as far as articulation, I think I got everything. It's been a little bit of time since I transformed this. It's been sitting on my shelf looking absolutely beautiful with its other masterpiece figures. First thing we're going to do, we'll come back to the back. Just going to lift this panel up, and the backpack unclips right from the back right there. This is going to be his gun piece, and what this is going to do, all the silver inside here, it's going to do a nice rotation. It unfolds and then it wraps around to become the tip of his gun, which is really cool, the way it does that. So I'm not going to clip this all the way in, just because it's a little bit easier to do it at the end, and I'll show you when we get to that point. Put that off to the side. Gonna lift his arms up. That will allow us to get to these tabs on the side of the body. That's what holds the front of his chest in. So just bring those forward. This whole chest is gonna fold down. That'll allow us to fold the head in. Close the front of the chest. Close the hinges back up. Gonna collapse the waist, just like so. And we're gonna take these arms. You're gonna want to spin them at this top joint. And then rotate them in. You see there's going to be a bend at that point, but that's what's going to bring everything all together. And then the hand, of course, before we bring this all around, we're just going to, that thumb does not want to move. Had a little bit of flashing still. We're just going to fold that hand in. Close that panel up. Same thing on this arm. Flip that around. Push that in. And then you see the arms right up here. There's a couple pegs and a couple slots on this side, which kind of hold everything together. And we'll leave the top for now. Come to the back. This flap, which was the top of the backpack, just tabs in right there. Now we're going to come down to the legs. We're going to rotate top part of the thigh around. That's going to give you an offset right there. Same thing on this side. Rotate that around. Just like so. Come down to the feet. We're going to flip the heel in first. Both sides. Then just bring the front of the foot or the toe in. And we're going to unpeg side panel. Pull that out. That's going to rotate all the way down. Bring that around to the front. You're going to do the same thing on this side. Pull that out. Rotate that up. Rotate this around. And you're going to see on the inside of the legs, we're going to have a peg there and a peg there and a hole there and a hole right there. So these legs will peg in together. And then once you pull the side of the legs up enough, they're going to sit like that. And then we're just going to tab this all together. One thing before you tab this all together, there is a extra piece that we're going to flip out. And that also tabs all together. And we can also flip these panels down to kind of cover the feet. And now the part which I don't really care for because it's a little tight is collapsing the legs. Don't know if it's going to be any easier on the reissues. There we go. Just want to keep your fingers out of the way because it will get you. Then you hear that nice tight snap when it gets in place. And you come down here to this. There's a little peg right up there. And these tabs right there just go in there. And there's no trigger. You can, if you want, pull this piece down, the piece that you just put up, and use it as a trigger. If you want. Just like that. It's not really meant to be a trigger, but you can use it as that because, as you can see, Quakewave's not going anywhere, leaving that untabbed. But we're going to go ahead and tab that in just for now to do the official transformation. And then all you have to do, we're going to come back here. I'm going to flip this all the way back. That puts it closer to the back of the gun, his sight. And then we're going to come up to the front of the gun and we're going to slide this piece over. And now that that's slid over, you can see there's two tabs, one right there, one at the top and one at the bottom of his gun. And that's going to slide, that's going to lock in to the hole right there, and on the top there's going to be one right there. So just slide that on, kind of get everything lined up all nice and neat. If you want, you can open this up, tab it in down at the bottom first, and then it's a lot easier to do not on camera. Just kind of close everything up and try to keep everything lined up. And there you go. There is the front of Quakewave's gun. And you still do have the light up function, which looks very nice with this added piece in the front. And it's pretty bright on camera. It's even brighter. It looks like a pink on camera, but when it's in person, it's actually a red, which is really nice. Try and get it to show up. It's not really showing up on the table. There you have Quakewave in his gun mode. There are little pieces right here on the end of his forearm pieces that lock in. That way your gun won't droop. I have fairly large hands and I can hold it just fine. There's some nice die cast in the handle here, which gives it a really nice weight. Really good feeling in your hand. The only other die cast that this figure has is in his feet. But again, FansToys knows that adds a lot of weight where it's needed for the figure, which makes it really nice. Just to give you a top view. Again, we saw the front. I turn the light off so I don't burn out the batteries. From the back and the other side. The only thing I wish is that there was a way to display it. I know someone was making a cast to hold this so you could display it on your shelf this way. And the only reason I didn't get it is it looks so good in robot mode that I just want to leave it in robot mode. But toying with the thought of getting a second one, so I may try and pick up one of those stands if the person that makes them is going to make them available again, because they were really cool. If you want to pick up this item, not this particular item, but the reissue, make sure you click in the link in the description below at the Chosen Prime. I'll put all 3 links in the description below. That way you can pick the one you want to pre-order, although the clear version is already sold out. But I'll put that link anyway, just in case someone drops out or something like that. Make sure you check me out on Twitter. I'm at Diecast2. We'll see you next time.